The reviews for Days Gone have been posted, and this is one game where I was saying you guys probably are waiting to hear from the reviews and make your decision on whether or not to buy the game, considering it's a new IP, considering the formula of the game being an open world freaker game. I'm saying freaker instead of zombies because that's what Sony Bend Studios really drove home, and because it is the aforementioned Sony Bend Studios' first console title in a very long time, some of you guys were a little bit skeptical on it, and maybe that skepticism was there for a reason because the reviews are absolutely all over the place. You see some very positive reviews, and then you see some reviews that are not as kind to the game. The game's Metacritic and OpenCritic score are still fluctuating, but I do want to take a look at what some of the reviews are saying because, again, it is really all over the place, and I want to give you guys my input without having played the game, but assessing what the issues are that most of the reviewers are pointing to. I think I can offer you guys 2 cents into what to expect in the future of the game. Also, Anthem is another one of those games that had a pretty mixed reception this year. I would say a lot more negative than mixed, but nonetheless, it is delaying its Cataclysm event, and other major features have been delayed as well, and no new launch dates have been set for that. So that's a little bit of a bummer. We'll give you guys the heads up on that. First up, let's go over all of the Days Gone reviews because there's a lot to assess here. Right now, the OpenCritic score is at a 72 as of recording this video. However, it is fluctuating a lot as more and more reviews are posted and the critics are putting out the reviews. 51% of critics are recommending it, and I do want to go over some of the reviews. Game Informer was pretty positive. Matthew Cato gave it a 7.8 out of 10, saying surviving the zombie throngs can be a thrilling experience, but the story and open world structure come in second. IGN's Lucy O'Brien was less kind to the game, giving it a 6.5 out of 10, saying fun in small bursts, but Days Gone's repetition, bland world, and meandering story make for an unremarkable ride. So it seems like the bland world and the storytelling is something that's becoming a reoccurring issue in the game, and that's a little bit of a bummer because when I first saw Days Gone, that was the issue that I thought was going to persist a little bit, but then as I heard more about the game, as I heard that the narrative was actually going to be a strong focus in the title, as I heard it was going to have 6 hours of cutscene content, I was like, hey, maybe it's actually going to have a story on the level of a God of War or Marvel Spider-Man. It looks like based on those reviews, that's not necessarily the case. Destructoid's Chris Carter gave the game a 6 out of 10, saying Days Gone ups the open world survival ante but doesn't have enough cash to pay for the rest of the rounds of betting, making it one of the weirdest AAA releases in recent memory. If enough people buy it, its stronger moments will likely be immortalized in YouTube videos for years to come, yet most people will probably remember it as an open world zombie game that didn't bring much mechanically to the table. With some tweaks to the pacing, it could have reconciled its warm, frank look at humanity and been something special. So based on that reviews, it looks like the fundamentals are in place for Days Gone to be something special. However, it does fall short of its potential. I mean, I think that was one of the issues going into the game, given that it was Sony Bend's first console title in a very long time, and given their more recent games, you look at an Uncharted Golden Abyss, Resistance Retribution on portable devices, this game was far bigger budget, and it is a massive undertaking for a studio like that, so I think for them to get the fundamentals down, and for it to evolve over time, maybe that can be seen as a little bit of a win. Next Gen Base's Ben Ward was very kind to the game, giving it an 8.5 out of 10, saying if you tore chunks out of Dying Light, Far Cry, The Last of Us, Sons of Anarchy, and a bunch of other open world titles, then threw them all into a blender, you'd probably end up with something akin to Days Gone. I think that's a very positive statement, given all of those IPs he just listed, but he continues saying it's a game with lots to enjoy, a ton of world to explore, and some sensational visuals to take in. As seemingly generic as much of it is on first glance, Days Gone opens up to prove that it's capable of punching its weight in a crowded area of the gaming landscape. A slow start to the story might put some off, and there are still a few technical issues that raise their head on the odd occasion, but there is plenty in here that gives you cause to overlook them. Farewell, Oregon, I had a great time clearing you out of freaks. The technical issues is also a reoccurring theme of some of the reviews, and I think that is something that's going to be remedied over time through updates. I mean, I know this is a game Sony Bend is going to stay committed to and continue to update. We know some free content updates are coming as well, so that's naturally going to make the game better as well from a content and technical standpoint, so this is a game that looks to get better over time. Lastly, I do want to give a shout to WCCF Tech's Alessio Palumbo. He gave the game an 8.4 out of 10, saying Days Gone puts Bend Studio once again on the map of all PlayStation gamers after many years of oblivion. While it doesn't deliver any meaningful innovations in terms of open world and gameplay mechanics, it's a fun game that sports gorgeous graphics and a surprisingly great story and cast of characters, easily paving the way for a sequel to the stories of Deacon, the Drifter, St. John. Again, he gave the game an 8.4 out of 10. So as you guys can see, the reviews are really all over the place. You see some very positive reviews going at an 8.5, closing in on a 9, and then you see some more negative reviews that are around that 6 range. Again, the score is fluctuating it a little bit, and I do imagine that this is going to be a game that gets a little bit better over time. Again, single-player games can only make so many gains even through updates, but nonetheless, if you were eyeing this game, maybe at this point you are going to want to wait on a sale for, I imagine, say, come the summertime, it is going to be down to that $39.99 range, maybe even $34.99, maybe even $29.99. I don't think it's going to be as stingent in holding up its price in, say, a God of War, considering God of War was a critical and commercial blockbuster. Days Gone probably isn't going to be that, but it does look to be a rather compelling game nonetheless, and it's good for Sony Bend Studio to get back in the foray of PlayStation 4 game development and big budget game development, and let's see where they can go in the future. While Days Gone isn't a home run based on the critical reviews, it still seems like there's quite a bit to get invested into with the title, and I'm excited to see what Bend Studio can bring forth in the future. I know in the case of Days Gone, these reviews might come across as a deal breaker for you, and maybe that is rightfully the case. I mean, dropping $60 on every new game that comes out, that's a little bit of a hard sell, and considering that there are so many great games that have already released in 2019, there's no way you play them all and look at games like Resident Evil 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Devil May Cry 5, and a lot of those games are already going on sale pretty frequently, and you can get them at a little bit of a discount, so dropping $60 on Days Gone right now might not be the best idea. However, just because a game has a 72 on OpenCritic right now, I don't think that's cause for you to completely stray away from the game and never give it a chance. And even if you do have a pre-order on the game, maybe this isn't reason to completely cancel it. However, do keep your expectations in line. Just understand that not every game is going to be a God of War. Not every game is going to be a Marvel Spider-Man. I just think Sony has set the bar so incredibly high with games like Uncharted 4, God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, and I can go on and on and on, that any game that is, you know, rated less than an 80 is seen as completely terrible by a large portion of the gaming audience, when that's not necessarily the case. A 7 out of 10 is still a very positive score, and the crazy thing about Days Gone is that the reviews, again, are really all over the place. You have some really positive reviews, you have some less than stellar reviews, so this is one where I think you guys are gonna really need to play the game to find your own happy medium and see how you enjoy the game. Maybe wait a couple weeks and see how the general consumer feels about it. That's just my 2 cents from not having played the game, but understanding how these things usually go. Next up, I do want to quickly cover a couple of other different topics. Anthem is delaying its Cataclysm event and other major features. No new launch dates have been set. BioWare did recently just put out a major update to Anthem, adding a new stronghold and some much needed gameplay improvements. However, with that update also came some bad news. Some major updates to the game, including the Cataclysm event, the mastery system, and more have been delayed. According to BioWare, these delays were necessary as they've had to spend more time than anticipated putting out various post-launch fires. Here's a full rundown on what's been delayed. Mastery systems, guild, legendary missions, phase 2, weekly stronghold challenges, leaderboards, some free play events, and Cataclysm. The Cataclysm is an important addition to the game, and it's currently a big focus for the BioWare team. The Cataclysm will bring new challenges and rewards and pushes the story of Anthem forward. As our work continues, we will share more with you in May. They also noted something about endgame loot. We have heard your concerns around endgame loot. We agree that our loot and progression system need to be improved, and we are working towards this. When we have more information to share, we will. So unfortunately, Anthem's content has been delayed. I know this is a game that's very easy to hate on, and maybe rightfully so, considering BioWare's track record in their past games outside of Mass Effect Andromeda. You expect a certain level of quality from BioWare, and Anthem definitely doesn't have that. However, Anthem is a bit different, being a multiplayer-focused title, but nonetheless, just an unfortunate state of affairs for this game. However, it is getting very cheap. I saw it on sale on Newegg the other day for $20. So if you have a couple friends playing it, I know some of you guys in the comment section are going to be like, you should probably wait for the game to go free to play, or the game isn't even worth any money, they should pay you to play it. I don't think the game is that bad. I think there is fun to be had in Anthem, and I do think some of the criticism towards the game and some of the hate to the game, and I've even offered you guys a lot of criticism and hate, but I've also offered you guys that this game isn't as bad as some people are making it out to be, and if you're paying $20 for it and you got a couple of friends to play it with, hey, there is a decent time to be had, especially when other multiplayer experiences like The Division 2 objectively a much better game. However, that's still going for $50 to $60. If you can find Anthem at that $20 price point, I really don't think it's all too bad of a buy. But nonetheless, that is gonna conclude this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Days Gone. What do you think coming out of these reviews? Are you still gonna keep your pre-order? Are you still excited to delve into the game? Or what do you think? Is this now gonna push you away? Are you gonna wait for a sale on? Because the reviews are coming in, and while there are some very positive reviews, some reviews are coming in rather mixed. critics. A 72 open critic score is still very positive, it's just we've been spoiled a little bit with games like God of War getting a 94, Red Dead Redemption 2 being around that range, Marvel Spider-Man even getting like an 88. It seems like a video game needs to be 85 or higher for it to be considered good, but in the reality, a 72 is still a very respectable score, but nonetheless, that's the story on what the critics think of Days Gone, and Anthem is delaying its Cataclysm event, and some other major features have been delayed. That's a bummer, but hopefully BioWare can continue to improve the game. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.